So what's up, y'all? Just Oren Lyric. I'm back in the closet, the infamous closet, not in the closet, literally. But yeah, this is my closet. But anyway, so I know I'm like late because I was supposed to be, I did my first video because I'm doing YouTube and Facebook and stuff like that. And, I did my pilot episode of Intimate Conversations with Oren Lyric. So this is actually gonna be episode 1. I know it's been a while. I've just been so busy, and then I've been trying to come up with content. I've been doing like short videos on YouTube. Like I said, if you want to follow me on YouTube, it's Oren Lyric 78 on YouTube or whatever. Subscribe to my channel. But I was just thinking about content and things that I could do that's relatable to people. And like I said before, my first video that I did, I've experienced a lot in life. So there's things I want to help people with, conversation I can have, and intimate conversations. And like I said, I'm going to do my videos in the closet because like I said, I pray in here. I said, I spend a lot of time in my closet sometimes I just be in here thinking or whatever. And it's like an intimate space, you know what I'm saying? People that know me know I like clothes and sneakers, shoes, whatever. So, these are my buddies, 7-hour plan. I ain't that shallow. But anyway, like I said in one of my other videos, I was like, you know what? If I have to come with a hat on, I got the shades on, my voice is deeper, then I really want to talk about something serious. So episode 1 for Intimate Conversations with Oren Lyric tonight. And I'm going to upload it today, even though they will be uploaded on Monday nights by 8. I was on YouTube. And I was just, how you just scrolling through YouTube or whatever, and you're watching videos and things of that nature. And so it's hot. It's cold here. It's hot. Let me roll this up. I fucking sweat. Hold on. Let me fix this light. See. All right, there we go. So it's like I was on YouTube, just scrolling through YouTube or whatever, and I was like watching videos, and it's a YouTuber who I like to watch his YouTube channel. He usually talk about a lot of serious things with domestic violence and like stuff like that, whatever. And I was just watching at the amount of people who date, they either cheat on their significant other, and when that significant other finds out, they kill them and run away, or they kill the significant other and then kill themselves. You know what I'm saying? And or just different situations. They say it's really a thin line between love and hate, and the fact of the matter is it is a very thin line between love and hate. I mean, it's very, very, very thin. And the reason why I think that, because people date for so many different, and I'm wearing this hat today, my truck fit hat. It say lovebirds. And I believe parrots and certain other birds, when they get together, they're together for a lifetime. Once they find a mate, they're with them for a lifetime. And I think there's a lot of things that we can learn in nature if we would really pay attention to it. Sometimes, they say the animal kingdom is savage, but I think human beings are even more savage. The animal kingdom or animal nature, they have a law that they live by, you know what I'm saying, how they survive and how they mate and stuff like that. But we're human beings, so we're supposed to be able to think rationally. We're supposed to be able to think rationally. We are supposed to have emotional regulation. We're supposed to know where to place our emotions, our feelings, and things of that nature. But there's so many people with so many traumatic situations in life that they get into relationships and date for so many different reasons. And dating, you should never date if you're lonely, depressed, feeling alone. You should never date for those reasons. You shouldn't even really date for money because you're looking for a way out. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you something. We are all capable of getting up and doing what we need to do to better our lives. But for some reason, and for the most part, a lot of us, we look for a person to do that. We look for that person to heal places in our life where we've been scarred, for family or ex-relationships. You know what I'm saying? We look for money. Some people it's shopping, it's clothes, all these things that really are not eternal. You know what I'm saying? Because nothing really lasts forever. You got what I'm saying? If you get in a relationship and a person can be committed to you, that's a wonderful, wonderful thing. You know what I'm saying? And commitment takes work. You know what I'm saying? It takes work. And you have to really want to do it. You got what I'm saying? And most people are not capable of being committed. Because for the most part, a lot of times they haven't seen commitment. They haven't seen what commitment looks like in their home. Maybe that, a lot of us, especially being in black homes like me, you didn't really, the father's in and out, or he's just not there. Like my dad was just not there. And like I said in my pilot episode, I am completely healed and from all these different childhood traumas and different things like that. I'm speaking from a healed place to just be able to help people and give them some type of, another way of thinking and a way out too. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you need a way out. So, what I'm saying? This is Intimate Conversations with Oren Lyric. Think of me as your brother, your uncle, your son, or whatever. But today I'm directing this definitely towards people who are not feeling secure within themselves, men, women, or whatever, and are tolerating certain things that they really shouldn't tolerate. You know what I'm saying? That you really shouldn't tolerate, but you tolerate them. And I'm going to share something that I never share with anybody. There's probably like a handful of people that know an experience that I had. Like I said, I'm being truthful with everybody. I don't have no reason to lie. Like God has brought me through so many different things, and I've had many experiences. And I know I was able to come out of a lot of things. Like I was talking to my mother the other night because I didn't shift the blame. Now, when I was a child, I would shift the blame. Well, I'm behaving this way because my dad wasn't in my life. Well, I'm behaving this way because family didn't treat me right. All this other stuff. But the thing about it, any decision you make, regardless of what people do or say, you know what I'm saying? The decisions that you make, they're your decisions. So when you find yourself in a situation, you made the decision. And the only way to really grow and mature is to know that. Like, I made this choice. Yeah, this happened and this made me feel some type of way. It messed with my emotions or whatever. But when I made the decision, I made the decision. I could, because God gave us choice and free will. I could have made a decision to go another way or do something different. You know what I'm saying? But I allowed my flesh, my emotions to get the best of me and making the wrong decisions. You know what I'm saying? Like people who deal with rejection, a lot of times end up in bad relationships. Sometimes don't make the best relationship choices. People are dealing with loneliness. Even a lot of times people who are dealing with poverty. You know what I'm saying? You like say, well, or in how poverty, because sometimes people are like, look, fuck this. It's too hard to make the money. It's too this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to date this nigga. Or I'm going to date this girl because they can give me the upcome. You know what I'm saying? They can bring me up to the level I want to be at. Even though you have really some of y'all don't be having no sexual attraction or emotional attraction, physical, no nothing. And sometimes some of you do. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, you don't. You're just looking for that leg up. You got what I'm saying? And in a lot of cultures, relationships are not built off love. It's a business. You know what I'm saying? It's about economics and status, you know what I'm saying? And keeping the lineage and keeping that money or that pop, whatever, within that lineage, you know what I'm saying? So like I said, people are in relationships for so many different reasons. But when I was watching Trey King's show tonight, a couple of his videos, it was sad that many of the young girls that were being murdered by a boyfriend, you know what I'm saying? Either the boyfriend was cheating, the girl found out, or the girl was like, I'm not happy in this relationship anymore. And then she like, I want to leave, and the nigga's like, I can't take it. Let me stop saying nigga. I am black, y'all, even though I don't look it. But my cousin Kyle was like, I don't think you should say the word nigga so much. But, sometimes, we say it for so many different reasons because, when we're African-American, it kind of take on a different meaning. It could mean my best friend, my bro, my whatever. Or it can be bad, too. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to really try to stop using the word for the sake of the culture because the word was not, we're not ignorant. We're not dumb, white people back in the day, and some even now think we had no souls. We weren't important. We was just here, doing whatever. But and I have to, we're in a different culture now. There are men, who deal with domestic violence from other men. There are women who deal with domestic violence from other women. You know what I'm saying? Let's just be real about it. Let's just speak the truth. I experienced domestic violence myself. Like I said, like I tell people, I dated men, I dated women. You got what I'm saying? And I had a one-time experience where I dealt with a domestic violence. And even though, I can fight and I can handle myself, and people that know me know I can, that's just still different when you're in a relationship with somebody and they're off mentally. And I ain't gonna say the person's name because I've forgiven this individual. I made peace with that. That was a couple of years ago. You know what I'm saying? But it didn't matter that I could fight and handle myself. The shit was scary. You know what I'm saying? Because I tell people all the time, you can't beat crazy. And like my mom said, when you find your head in the lion's mouth, you have to pull it out slowly. You gotta, when you get in certain relationships and you get involved with certain people, I'm trying to tell you, you can't just abruptly leave sometimes. You got to strategize. You got to think. You know what I'm saying? How I'm going to get out of this. The number one thing you got to do is you got to pray. Because, I prayed. I was like, God, you got to get me out of this. Like, because this person does not want to let me go. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is crazy. This is crazy. Lord, what am I going to do? Man, I had to pray. I was even like, God, forgive me. Because I remember there was so many times when you was like, I felt the Spirit of the Lord was like, leave, leave, leave. And I would leave and I would feel sorry for the person because, you'll get 10 calls back to back. One time I got 64 phone calls back to back because I wouldn't answer the phone. Like, this shit is crazy. I may curse a little bit because I just want to be truthful and be myself. Like, I just do. This is the only way I can tell the story. But before I get into my portion, I want to say to all you young women in general, but to my black sisters, know that you are queens. Know that you are worth it. Know that you possess the power within yourself. Now look at me as your big brother or uncle, somebody talking today. You got what I'm saying? Know that you possess the power in yourself. And you don't have to stay nowhere where it does not, what's the word I'm looking for? Where it does not, I'm not going to say suit, it's another word that I'm looking for, where it no longer serves you. And you're under fear, you're being belittled, you're being torn down. Like, a lot of people know I work in mental health. I'm dealing with a client right now who is dealing with that. Just loving the wrong man, and he's just ruining her life. You got what I'm saying? Ruining her life. She don't even really love him, and she knows that it's bad what he's doing. But because of her own rejection that she grew up with as a child, her own feelings of loneliness and insecurity, and then having to raise her son alone, keeps causing her to attract this kind of behavior. A lot of times the men she's dealing with are very immature. You got what I'm saying? They don't even know who they are. You know what I'm saying? They ain't been really raised right themselves. They've been mostly in the streets or whatever. And I'm not saying everybody's been in the streets don't know how to act. So remember, this is not for everybody. But this happens a lot. You got what I'm saying? If you haven't been taught, raised to just know how to deal with things emotionally, and a lot of times in black homes, we just told to, just look over it, look over it, look over it. Sometimes you in a black family, I'm not saying in every black family, but a lot of times you forced to be in the room with your abuser, emotional abuser, your sexual abuser, people who done you wrong, stole your money, lied on you, took advantage of you. Oh, we family, so we just gonna be there together. We just gonna be in there together and we just gonna rock out. You know what I'm saying? But the whole time, the whole situation is a mess. Everybody is really uncomfortable. Couple cousins on the side over here talking about the uncle that was molesting everybody. Oh, the one over here talking about the aunt that just stole everybody's money. The one ain't do nothing for grandma before she died. Now she here crying. Now she want to take everything. You know how it is. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't communicate and talk. So I think a lot of times, even when we get in relationships, we feel like, okay, well, I just got to deal with this. This is my woman or this is my man. I just got to deal with this. No, you don't. No, you don't. Not when it is going to destroy your life and ruin your mental health. People are running around here with their mental all messed up, trying to cope or trying to make something work that's no longer working. And for the most part, it wasn't working in the beginning, when it started out. But back to, like I say, my sisters, I love women. I love black women. My mother is a black woman. And I would never want my mother have seen my mother be in any abusive relationship with any man and keep tolerating it. And like I said, my mother didn't. I knew one man in my home was my stepfather. He never had put his hands on my mother, and when she was done with it, she was done with it. And that's her story to tell, so I'm going to leave that. But what I'm saying is my mother was actively raising us. That's it. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to say, like, when you're starting to feel uncomfortable, you know what I'm saying? The first hit should be the one hit that lets you know it's time to go. You don't stay for the second and third, because everything gets progressively worse. Okay, you apologize, but I gotta leave today. Because the thing about a thing, when you stay in it too long, it gets deeper and deeper and deeper. Because remember, the emotions get deeper and deeper and deeper. All those hugs, all those kisses, all the sexual intercourse, all those nights with dinner, all spending time with my family, you spending time with, all just keeps connecting you, right? And it just makes you more and more confused about what you should and should not do. You got what I'm saying? But let me tell you something. Somebody abusing you is not love. Love will never hurt you. Love wants what's best for you. Love wants you saved. Love wants you protected. Love prefers you over itself. That's the eros. That's that God love. You know what I'm saying? Not to harm you. I will walk away from you before I harm you. So I'm going to say to all you women right now, if you're in relationships right now and you are being abused physically, spiritually, emotionally, yes, all those three things are bad. Some people are manipulated spiritually. Look how many women and men in church deal with different things. They are manipulated spiritually. Look, God is not a puppet master, right? He ain't around here casting spells on nobody and making you do nothing. He honestly gave us free will and the right to make choices and decisions, and you have that right and decision and choice to make. You got what I'm saying? So when you're not feeling that it is no longer serving you, and it's causing you to be somebody that you're not, and it's hurting you and it's hurting your children, like my client, like she has a child, you know what I'm saying? And he's seeing this abuse. He's seen this abuse. And I had to tell her, I said, if you don't free yourself for nobody else, free it for him. Because you think that this is not going to affect him later. He's not going to be 2 and 3. He's 2. Is he 2 or 3? I think he's 2 or 3. But anyway, I said, if you think this is not going to affect him later, it definitely is going to affect him later. You feel what I'm saying? And she was crying and crying. I said, you got to know yourself first. And as a black man and a man, I just spoke into this girl's spirit. I had to really speak to her mind. I had to speak to her spirit. I had to tell her. And she started crying. And a lot of times, tears is a form of being set free. You got what I'm saying? She was sobbing. And I had to tell her. Now, it's not best practices when you're working in mental health, probably just, be formal, but I had to because I just felt and I knew. You know what I'm saying? I'm spiritual too. I know God. So I just felt too, if she keep going through this, it's going to end with her not being alive. You got what I'm saying? And I told her, I said, domestic violence ends in 1 of 2 ways. You get out or death. And I had to just be so real with her, because this young lady is really an amazing young lady, but I know it's tied to her rejection, you know what I'm saying, not having that mother figure, father figure growing up, kind of just being on her own. You got what I'm saying? Just looking for love and wanting somebody to fill their void. And I told her, these men can't fill no void, that the voids they need filled themselves. You know what I'm saying? I said, you don't even have a boyfriend or a husband. What you got is a child that you're taking care of. You know what I'm saying? Because really, that's what it is. They needing the same thing that your son need. You got what I'm saying? And when you can't give it to them, then they lash out, because that's what children do. And little kids, what they do? You tell them to do something, first thing they do is hit. They don't know. There's other ways to handle your aggression and your anger. You just can't walk up to people hitting people. And when adults do that, that shows that there's something lacking in them. There's something lacking in them. If you can't talk, have a conversation, and the first thing you do is hit, you're not mature. You're not mature handling emotions. You're not a rational thinking person. You got what I'm saying? And you need to get help. But you got to be self-aware. One thing I pride myself on is being very self-aware, like self-reflecting and looking at myself. Even if people don't think I do, I do. You got what I'm saying? That's why I said I've been in this closet and sometimes I just think, well, how could I have handled that situation different? You know what I'm saying? I need to apologize to that person because I really think I offended them. You know what I'm saying? And I get quick to just do that. You got what I'm saying? And I ain't saying I'm like no perfect. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes I do have to sit on a person offended me and be like, wait a minute, before I can really talk to you and deal with you again. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I just want to say before I get into my story, which is going to be very personal, like I said, nobody knows this. Probably less than a handful of people know the domestic violence situation I went through with this guy that I was dating. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I've never put my hands on a woman. I always respect women, and the women that I dated, I just didn't do that. I was very careful with them because, I have a mother, you know what I'm saying? And I did see what my mom went through, not any physical abuse, but just, a man not being faithful, and you being there for them and loving them, and them not being faithful. You know what I'm saying? But my mother is the type of person, when she's done with it, she's done. And I'm like that too. You know what I'm saying? But this particular time, I was done, but that person wasn't done. And it got very violent and scary. And I'm going to tell you, it took It took at least about 2 years for it to be really, really done. And I really think it was prayer. I know it was prayer and God protected me that did it, because this nigga really could have killed me. Like, he told me he wanted to plenty of times. And guess what? I believed him. Saying that's another thing. Believe what somebody tell you. I don't care if you said, well, they was mad. No, they saying that from their heart. The Bible says that out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. You got what I'm saying? When people saying stuff to you, I hate you and I hope you die. And then when they ain't mad no more, they like, why was this upset? No, they meant that. They meant that. Because guess what? Had you said or did the wrong thing in that moment, then that action definitely would have been taken out. You know what I'm saying? People stay in a relationship with people they hate. People stay in relationships with people they really just not in love with no more, just for the sake of not wanting to be alone, is not a good thing. And it's hard. You know, it's hard sometimes you be alone. You want companionship. And, you know, the social media is such a liar. You know what I'm saying? You got all these glossy pictures and all these, you know, photos of relationships and this and this and that. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, oh, I want it. You got what I'm saying? You're not even really ready for it financially, spiritually, mentally, but it's glossy, it looks good, so I want it. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to say to you, to the women, my sisters, like, get out of that. You know, get out of that. And if you're in deep right now, talk to somebody. That means you got your head in the lines. Even my brothers, like I said, that we in a different culture. You know what I'm saying? We have men with men, women with women. Then you have, like I said, heterosexual normative relationships or whatever. And I like to say normal as if everybody's not normal, but I'm just saying, you know, a man and a woman is considered to be normal. Anyway, so you finding yourself in that, you know your heart isn't there. You need to start to find a way to transition out of that. And if you're with somebody unstable, listen, you need to go talk to somebody. You need to be very, very, very prayerful. Let me tell you something. God will get you out of those situations. You got what I'm saying? But you can't keep going back when you get out. You can't keep going back, you know, when you get out. All right. So my situation was, hold on one second. Sorry. I've been detoxing, so it's like taking all this mucus out of me. And I did cheat one day, so I cheated yesterday, so that's all that macaroni and cheese. Like, my body is pushing all of that stuff out. It's pushing out all that mucus from the cheese and sugars from the yams and all that stuff. That's another. If you start something, do it. Because if you go backwards, your body be towed up. You know what I'm saying? Now my body is towed. The food was amazing, but I'm just saying, because I was already detoxing, I was just doing herbs and alkaline water and fruits and vegetables, eating, you know what I'm saying? And it was really cleaning had really cleaned my system out. And Thanksgiving came and I like chowed down. My body is like, oh, you know what I'm saying? So just know that when you come out of something, God bring you out of something, you go back, it's going to be harder the next time to get out, okay? It's going to be harder the next time to get out. So now my body is rejecting it, stomach all crampy. You know what I'm saying? But let me get back to topic. Yeah, so when I left from New Jersey, I had moved to Washington, D.C. And I'm not going to say any names, but like I said, I've already forgiven that person. We don't speak. We had like one conversation, maybe like, I think a year ago, ended up running into, but it was, the crazy thing, the person was still trying to be with me, and I was like, come on now, no, you know, but I could tell that person had really moved on, but it was just, look, it was a last attempt. And I'm not calling him the devil, but I'm just saying the devil gonna always try. He never stops, you know what I'm saying? And but in that moment, I knew it was completely, there would be no more interaction. There would be, you know, nothing. Like I said, I ran into them on a whim, just being outside or whatever. But anyway, I moved or whatever. And when I moved to DC from Jersey, I was, you know, getting back into school, finishing up my degree and different things of that nature, finishing up a degree at that time. And, you know, I was working, I had a good job. I mean, it wasn't paying a lot, but it was a good job. You know, I was housing homeless individuals in the District of Columbia, whatever. And I ended up meeting this guy or whatever. And then the intro of meeting him, it was like dope, because it was like aesthetically, yeah, what I was into, everything like that, you know. And I'm gonna get into why I probably, dating men, why I probably chose certain ones that I did chose when I was dating women, and why I dated certain women. You know what I'm saying? Why I chose those particular women, or whatever. And if I dated a man, he had to be masculine, and he had to be tall, he had to be strong. You know what I'm saying? I didn't like femininity in a man, and I didn't want him to be weak or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? I already had a strong personality. You know what I'm saying? And I just didn't like it. And a lot of that had to do with growing up, me being my mom's oldest child, my mother's, not my father's, my mother's oldest child, being her son. And my mom didn't want weak men. Like, she didn't want me and my brother to be weak. So it was like, my mother, made me do things early, like, get on the bus by myself, get in the taxi by myself. You're gonna have to do these things, because my mother thing was, I ain't gonna live forever, and I ain't just gonna say somebody just gonna take y'all and raise y'all. So I need you to know how to wash your clothes. I need you to know how to cook. I need you to know how to fix things. Yes, I know how to fix a lot of things. Like within a house, I know how to fix things on cars, change tires, all that stuff like that. People look and judge me, but you really don't know. You know what I'm saying? And I can handle myself. You know what I'm saying? And, she didn't want me to have fears. Then growing up in Newark, I just could not have those fears. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, no, you go downstairs and you walk to the store and you get this and this and this and that. But, it made me who I am now. Like, I'm very fearless. I'm going to do what I need to do for myself. I ain't waiting on nobody to make nothing happen for me. I make it happen for myself. I pray, strategize, and I get it going. But I digress. So when I was there, I'm gonna try to make it quick. You know what I'm saying? So when I was there, and I met this guy, or whatever, it was like cool. Like, I was like, all right, you know what I'm saying? And he was very giving. I ain't had to pay for nothing. I ain't had to do nothing. Like, this man was like spending his money and it's like that. And I just started feeling secure. I was like, I ain't never really had that. I mean, I've dated men before, but like, I could say men have been protective of me, but this one was like a little different. You know what I'm saying? And all my childhood stuff of always feeling just like I was by myself, or, and then not having no father in my home, because your father is supposed to be there, protect the home, make you feel secure. I never had that. And then my mom always worked. You know what I'm saying? She had to work. She's a beautician. She was doing hair. Doing really well doing hair, And so, I was a latchkey kid. And like, sometimes I just wanted that father figure, and that I wanted that. I just wanted to feel protected. Like I always had to protect myself or defend myself, right? So I'm trying to attach you with how the trauma kind of goes. And so then, and this is going to be a part one. So I'm not going to get into all of it, okay? So, then I started, going on dates and different things like that. I'll pull out my money, and this boy's like, nah, I got you. Boom, boom, boom. Would come to my house. He would cook sometimes, because I was always cooking. You know what I'm saying? Would clean up my house and everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? I never had to drive my car, all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I was just feeling, it wasn't even sexual for me. I just felt safe. I felt safe. Like, if we were out at the club or we was doing something, you couldn't even walk up on me like this. And he was tall. He was, you know what I'm saying? And, he would let a person know, like, boom. And I was just like, dang, I love this. Like, this man loves me. Like, he loves me now. You hear what I'm saying? I ain't thinking about it as sexual at this point. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to tell you why. Like, because it wasn't that. I'm going to just tell you. And, he was in love with me, and I think he was in love with me when he first met me. I didn't fall in love. I never fell in love with him. Like, I grew to love him after some time, but I never, fell in love. I don't know why I couldn't fall in love with him, but I never could fall in love with him. You know what I'm saying? And wherever I was at, he wanted to be there. And I'm trying to tell you, he was there. He didn't care what nobody said or what they did or nothing. You know what I'm saying? He was there. Like, I'm going to be there. You know what I'm saying? Different events I may have had or stuff where then he started picking me up from work. Because at the time, I didn't have a car. I was busing in, getting on the metro and all that stuff like that. But when we started, he would leave from where he lived. And he didn't live in D.C. So, he would drive to where I was and pick me up. And things of that nature. He would come and he would pick me up. And, I was like, I love all of this. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I really, really loved it, because I ain't never had that. You know what I'm saying? In a crazy way, in my psyche, he was being kind of fatherly. You know what I'm saying? Because one time I injured myself. I had hurt myself or something, man. He got the Band-Aid and the alcohol and all that. He cleaned it up. and he bandaged me up and, did all that type of stuff, And it was those type of things that let me grow to love him as time went on, but I never fell in love with him, and I couldn't understand like why I wouldn't fall in love with him. So I'm just gonna give y'all the beginning part. And part two, we'll get into where it turned for the worse. So even when my friends were coming from out of town to visit me, they didn't even have to spend their money. Anybody that was with me, they never had to spend their money. Like, you know what I'm saying? He like, no, I got you. And his thing was, whoever you love, I love. And I was like, that's what's up. That's what's up. See, not understanding that there was a reason why he was looking for something too, because of his own things he was going through. And I didn't know in the beginning all the trauma that he had experienced growing up. And I want to tell you, like, right, he's really an amazing person, you know what I'm saying? But this was our story, and this is what happened, with us. So if anybody know him and they say, well, Oren was talking about you on Facebook, I'm not talking about him in a bad way, but this is exactly what happened. But like I said, when we parted, we parted, but it wasn't always nice. And, there's two sides to every story, because he definitely just say that in my mouth, and, I would be very cold to him and stuff like that. Which is what caused him to act certain ways. But I don't give about none of that. Nobody should ever put their hands on you for no other reason. Where I went wrong was staying when I knew I couldn't give him what he wanted. You know what I'm saying? He was meeting a specific need for me emotionally that I hadn't even dealt with, tapped into or whatever. And I'll get into the psychology of it all, like when I met my father for the first time and how all those feelings left me. The vulnerability, the rejection, the insecurity of that. And then when my father kind of stepped out of my life, all that stuff it flooded right back into me. That's why you got to go to God for your healing. People can't heal you. You got to really go to God for your healing. You got to go to therapy. You got to go to God, and you got to go to therapy. They can work hand in hand. You find the right therapist, because you need to talk through some things. You know what I'm saying? And your pastor and the people in your church are not always the best options for you. Sometimes you need a professional. You know what I'm saying? Let your pastor lead you to Jesus Christ. But there's people who've been trained to help you to understand emotions and get things out of your psyche, to help you to process why you behave the way you do, why you handle things the way you do, why you do things the way that you do. You hear what I'm saying to you? And that's a fact. But in the beginning, it was boom. I remember just in the beginning, maybe like after the second week, I don't know what I can't remember exactly what happened, but we were downtown somewhere in DC, and we got into an argument, you know what I'm saying? Because I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little spoiled, and, if I want something, and like I said, he was really, really spoiling me, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know what it was, and he must have said no or something like that. That's why you got to tell your children no when they're young. So when they get older, they could take, and my mom always told me, no, trust me, my mother didn't spoil me. People might say she did. I did have nice things, but I'm telling you, I had to work for them. And there was a lot of times she was like, no, and she meant it. You know what I'm saying? So I knew how to take no. But it was just a situation with him or whatever. And he's like, get out of my car. And I got out of his car. But when I got out, I ran behind it and kicked all the back windows out. I kicked the back lights out. And he jumped out because he had never seen me act. A lot of people don't know me, except like people back home in Jersey or my family know, like, I used to have a bad temper. You know what I'm saying? So he got out the car. He was like, you kicked my car. And his car was like new. And I didn't care. I was like, I'm from Newark. I don't care. Yeah, you want to fight me? Fight me. Yeah, you probably could beat me. You much bigger than me. You much taller than me. You like 6'5", 6'6", something like that. But I'm going to fight you, nigga. I don't care. I'm going to tear this car up. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, yo. And he just pushed me down. Whatever, got in the car. He sped off. But he ended up coming and picked me up like around the corner or something like that. And see, right then is when we should have never been together anymore. You got what I'm saying? We should have never been together anymore. We had some crazy situations like really happen. But how much time? What time are we at? We had 34 minutes. Like I said, this is going to be part one. So I'm just going to talk the beginning of how things just were. So that was like a first, and nothing happened for like after a while, whatever we talked about or whatever. And I was like, well, I didn't like the way you spoke to me. And then you're going to tell me no, but then you're going to help somebody else out. So it was that type of situation. But when I got home, the crazy thing is when I got home, I was like, I really don't even fucking care about him. Like, I don't care. Really didn't care. You know what I'm saying? That's why I was just all mixed. Like, do I care? Do I don't care? Do I care? Do I not care? You know what I'm saying? But I really did not. I definitely didn't care for him the way that he cared for me, or whatever. So people who would see us, they was like, "Hey, y'all like a bomb couple. Y'all like an ideal couple." You know what I'm saying? Like, "Dang, y'all look good together." In the gay world, it's like if you got a, I guess, a pretty boy or whatever they call him, when you got a real masculine type guy, he look a certain way, it's like ideal. You know what I'm saying? Even though I was no bitch. I was no bitch whatsoever. I ain't never been that. You got what I'm saying? It don't matter what people may have thought. You got what I'm saying? I just knew myself. I ain't mad. I mean, yeah, you want to take control, lead, go ahead. Because I know I was in control anyway, really. In most cases. Well, so I thought, right? And yeah, we would do things. You know what I'm saying? We like plan trips. We would go places together. Like, and during that time with like paying for school and stuff like that, he would just try to take the a lot of the edge off of things that I was having to do. You know what I'm saying? Financially and stuff like that. And when I met him, he told me this elaborate story, about who he was, where he worked, what he had. And I mean, like, listen, you only believe a person till you don't believe him, until you find out what the truth actually is. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, well, this is amazing. He got a good job. He's established. He has his own house. I was like, so this may be it. This is a good situation here. You know what I'm saying? And he also told me he had a child, which I found out later that was a lie. Anybody know me know I love children. And when I found out that was a lie, I was really, like, I hated his guts. Like, he lied about a lot of stuff. But I think that was the main thing that had me like, it was like, what, you know what I'm saying? So, you got to talk to people. Don't believe everything that you hear, which is so crazy for me because I'm really analytical. Like, I listen to you, but I listen behind what you're saying. My training in psychology and things like that, like my friends say, you overanalyze everything. You always looking at it. You always reading, or you always, thinking, overthinking. And I do. I try to turn that off, but it just do it. And then in my spiritual side, my discernment, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I feel a thing, or I may sense a thing in my gut about an individual or a person. And sometimes it's not right. It's not real. I mean, sometimes it's just you. Because if you have other things going on with you, like, if you have insecurities or dealing with rejection, you have some emotional things going on with you, a lot of times you don't judge a situation properly. So sometimes you can't go with the first thing that you hear in your mind, because that may not even be it. And in past situations, I've messed up good relationships overthinking it and thinking that this person was thinking a thing or doing a thing, and it really wasn't. You know what I'm saying? But it was in my mind based off of, my past experiences and things that I have been through. Anyway, we were we had I remember time we had like a Thanksgiving together. We had a Christmas, because I would go home during that time, but I would like do something with friends and stuff like that. And everybody just thought it was perfect. I mean, everybody thought it's so perfect that a lot of people that I thought was friends was trying to get in on that relationship. So, they were trying to hit him up on the back end. I found out a lot of stuff later. But, he only had like eyes for me. Like, because we talked about everything. He would tell me, like, a lot of times we would be in a car and we would be talking about like people that was attracted to me or talk to me, and they knew he was standing right there, or people would do the same thing. And the crazy thing, he was in church, I was in church, I mean, but more so like we got together, we started singing this community choir together too, and we was together the whole time. And the women loved him, and there was women there that liked me too, guys, whatever, so it was like but we would laugh about it, like we were like friends too, so like we would just laugh about all of that. We would really, really laugh about it. Like, did you see such and such? Yeah, they hit me up. And I was like, what? Yeah, and I was like, I'm talking to Orrin and this, that. People don't care. And that's another thing. You gotta watch people. Watch your friends. I'm telling you, watch your friends. Watch your friends. Because it was two people I was friends with that was hitting him up. Like, they would, and he didn't tell me till later on, because he knew I would bang. Like, I would bang. I was still kind of fighting when I moved to DC. I didn't really start getting tamed with this until, I'll say like really maybe like 2019, 2020, maybe 2020. I had got much better from when I was younger. Like, when I was younger, it'd be like, yeah, I'm just going to fight, boom, no talking. Then it went to the steps of me getting, being able to deal with that, my temper and stuff. Then it went to, I'm gonna let you talk and talk and talk. I can't take it no more. I'm gonna bop you. Boom. But now I don't even put myself in spaces where I have to even go to that level. And honestly, I don't even have the desire to be fighting people. So I just remove myself from situations that are not conducive, especially when I know people are trying to egg a situation on. You know what I'm saying? I'm older, wiser. You know what I'm saying? Who got time to be out here fighting? You know what I'm saying? Messing up bones, messing up skin, and you know what I'm saying? Having to deal with police and all this other crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Cause I decked him one time in his car. He maced me. You know what I'm saying? He was bigger than me, but he maced me because I was on him. I was in that car, was on him. Like, if you get a big person in a small space, and if you can fight and you're a little bit, you're smaller than them, you get them in a small space, you can really work them. But that's not what we're talking about, because remember, we ain't doing no fighting and doing that. We're talking about getting yourself out of situations that no longer serve you, or getting yourself out of situations that are unhealthy for you. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of you women. I know the women in my family. I've seen them scrape with a lot of men. I mean, scrap and beat some up too, like get in a ring with them. But they shouldn't have been fighting no men. You know what I'm saying? They shouldn't have been fighting no men. You know what I'm saying? And I'll watch my male cousins, like, be ready. My male cousins, they with all the shit. You got what I'm saying? A lot of them older now, but like they was with the shit. And a lot of times, them women in my family was they strong women. Strong women. Because God knows I seen mine Kim rag a lot of girls in front of the spies, academy spies, like, and she definitely had to be she was scrapping. I've seen them all get it in. But especially my cousins down in North Carolina, them girls, even my great aunts, like I done seen them like hands, like paws on, you know what I'm saying? They ain't play no. I mean, I had two aunts that'll pull their gun out on you, and they ain't play. They was poppy. They pop people. Pop, 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 pop. You know what I'm saying? Pop, 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 pop. Yeah, I gotta. Yeah, baby. They was gun. I ain't gonna say that because they probably don't want me to. That's they past. But they pistol poppers, baby. And my great grandmother was one too. But anyway, I digress. But what I'm saying is, so we were. We was just doing normal relationship stuff, building stuff. Like I said, if my friends came to visit out of town, or friends I had there, like, he would just be very, very, very generous. But like something, y'all, just would not let me fall in love. And I just did not know why. And I would talk to a close friend of mine. She's like a sister to me. She's like one of my god sisters. Because she used to come visit all the time. And I would tell Tonika, I was like, I don't know what it is. I just can't fall in love with this. I said, I should. She was like, but he's such a, she was like, he a dope guy. Like, he love your friends. Like, he do everything for you as much as he can. Like, he's very supportive. Like, what is it? And I was like, I don't know. See, this is what I'm talking about. You get signs early on that, for some reason, God wasn't letting my heart connect with him the way I wanted to, because, see, God saw down the road that this was going to be chaotic for you. This is going to put you in a situation, and this boy got some stuff going on with him that you don't even know about. You know what I'm saying? And see, I'm an empath in some ways. You got what I'm saying? So I can love a bad person. I've loved bad people. Like, I stick in there with them. Like, for some reason, I used to. I don't feel that way now. Like, you know what I'm saying? If the person had issues, I feel like I can love them through it. I can support them through it, whether it was women or men. But the women I dated, they was dope. I ain't never had no problem like that. They loved me and I loved them. They still love me, And but it was like I just felt like, I had to be there and be supportive and, get in there with them, hug them, tell them they're gonna be great, you're gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to tell you, I've done that for a few people. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, cause I'm strong. I know I'm strong. I know I was more emotionally strong than a lot of people. I know I was more emotionally strong than them. So I knew, like, I could deal with this. You know what I'm saying? And I just dealt with stuff. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, it was all gold in the beginning. Like, it was lights. It was cameras. It was shining. If I had to sing somewhere, he was right there. You got what I'm saying? He was right there. Whatever I had to do, he was there. You know what I'm saying? At the time, like, I wasn't like, I never shared my relationships with, like, my mom or anything like that. I just kept all that secret from her because I really wasn't still comfortable with being a gay man at the time. So my relationship was very private, not to people, but to just certain people I really cared about, because they had never seen me in that light, like actually with somebody and being with that person in any intimate space or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I was still dealing with my own insecurity about that. You know what I'm saying? Especially I never been to like a PDA type of person. He was with all like he didn't mind putting his arms around me in the street, and I used to be like, "Yo, don't do that, don't do that," because I was always afraid to be a gay bash. I ain't want nobody knock me on my head, you know what I'm saying, whatever. But I just wasn't a PDA type of person. Like, he would want to put his arm around my shoulder. I mean, if we were sitting at a bar, we were somewhere eating, he wanted to sit right next to me. I'd be like, man, move over. So to him, it came off as mean. And he used to be like, all I'm trying to do is love you. Why you keep pushing me away? Why you keep pushing me away? And I used to say in my head, like when I was by myself or I got home by myself, I used to be like, dang, yeah, why can't I? But something just was not letting me do it. And every time I would get the courage or gumption to be like, let's just break up, I don't want to be in this no more, he would just do something, or something would come up, some specific need or something that I had, and he would just make it happen. And I wasn't asking him how he was making it happen. As far as I know, he was doing the job he said he was doing, and I ain't asked no questions. You know what I'm saying? Where I grew up at, you don't ask no questions. People where they work, how they make their money, that's their business. You don't ask no questions. You know what I'm saying? So I asked no questions. You said you worked here, you did that, then that's that. As long as you don't involve me with your bullshit, I don't really care. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, as long as you don't involve me with your bullshit, the less I know, the better for me. You got what I'm saying? Whatever you do, you do. Ain't no judgment here, but guess what? Don't involve me in it. You know what I'm saying? But, I eat off the fruits of it. That's how I was. Like, I eat off the fruits of it. I ain't no bad looking guy. So I've definitely had all kinds of men, even women, will open their bag on me without a problem. I'm just being real with you. That ain't no cockiness. There's no nothing. But there's a danger in that too. Because there's a false sense of security that comes with that. Because guess what? People want what they want when they opening that bag on you, and they doing that. They may don't say it in the beginning, but baby, it comes out, and you got to pay up. You see, you know what I'm saying? It's like when you commit a crime. You may get away with it for a little while. You may be on the run for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, but baby, you got to pay up at some point. You're going to pay up in anything in life, because the life is about, there's a law on the earth that God put, and it's called the law of sowing and reaping. And baby, we all got to do it. You may have, let me tell you, a lot of y'all that's going around doing bullshit to people, you got what I'm saying? In the words of T.S. Madison, everybody working, getting paid. You know what I'm saying? She says, you're doing some fuck shit, you're getting paid. You know what I'm saying? You're working. You being a liar, a all around scheming ass, scamming ass, no good ass individual to people, you're working. And everybody working, getting paid. So watch what you do, watch what you say, watch how you handle people, because you're going to get paid for that action. You got what I'm saying? You're going to get paid for it. And you don't know how that wage is going to come. Is it going to come just through you? Is it going to come through your children? Is it going to come through your grandchildren? Is it going to come through that job you want? Is it going to come through that next relationship you want? Because you have fucked that other person over, and now you get in a relationship and like, I'm all good and good, and then that person you're in a relationship with, male, female, whatever you got going on, then you start seeing them doing the same thing to you. Then you get mad, and then they the worst thing in the world, but you never considered how you treated the person you was with either before them or even some years before them. Or then your child, you're like, why is my child going through these bad relationships? Why these things happen to them? You got to kind of look back maybe how you treated people. Now, that's not in every case now. That's not in every case. But I'm saying everybody working, getting paid. And I had to give T.S. Madison her props, because that's her statement. And people may not like the way she said it, but on the real, it's true. Everybody working, getting paid. I don't care if you in church, out of church. I don't care who you are. President, not president. The boss, not the boss. Everybody working, getting paid. You got what I'm saying? And you're going to reap what you sown. You're gonna reap what you sown. You keep stealing from motherfuckers. You keep stealing and stealing. Guess what? Everything you touch is going to be stole from you. And guess what? It may not even happen to you. Like, I'm sitting high on the hog or whatever. I'm living high on the hog, whatever. But then your child, every job they get, they can't keep it. You know what I'm saying? Everywhere they go, something being taken from them. Every relationship they get ain't being taken from them. Repent for what you did to people. Stop doing it to them so that good things can continue to flow and follow you. I try to be very careful about how I treat people, and if I hurt them and they come and tell me, at least I'm gonna get that thing right. But if I do, it's never ever intentional. I'm just being real. It's never ever intentional. So you just want to watch what you're doing, what you're saying. Look, we got 9 more minutes, and like I said, there's a part 2 to this. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm going to get really more deeper into the physical abuse part of it. When I was maced and had to get the police involved, and nobody knew. Only one of my cousins was there to see one of the times when the abuse got really, really bad. When I had got stalked and chased behind and ran up on and car blocked in. My cousin, I'm gonna leave her name out, but she know who she is if she see the video. I don't want to like saying people names and people, you know, whatever. But she was like there for that one thing, you know, when I had to get the restraining order. It was crazy, ear bleeding and some craziness. My mom gonna know now. I'm family member people, but nobody never knew. You know what I'm saying? Because I just keep things private. I deal with them, and then I just like keep going. So I am going to get into part 2 of this next week. I'm going to post this today, but if I don't have a video up Monday, I'm going to try to do part 2 and have it on Monday, because I want to be consistent and have the videos up every Monday, like by 8 o'clock. But sometimes, y'all, it may not happen like that, because, you know, I'm working on consistency myself. And just, you know, I'm consistent in some things, but not in all things. It's just to be honest with you, you know what I'm saying? And me where I'm at in life and building a business and having to do all this, sometimes just prioritizing and putting things in its proper space to get things done. You know what I'm saying? But I really want to be consistent with this. And like I said, please go to my YouTube channel and subscribe, and please hit the like button and leave a comment too. I'm begging you. Leave a comment, subscribe, share these lives. When I post a video to Facebook or Instagram or whatever, just share it or whatever. But I want to go back to before, like I said, my story is going to go into part 2. But to all my black women and women in general, don't stay anywhere where it's not serving you. When you're being abused, if you're losing things, when a person has come into your life, they are not meant to be there. When the right person come into your life, y'all should bloom and grow, like the Bible say, like the cedars of Lebanon. You should just come up and bloom and bloom and bloom and bloom and bloom. And remember, the person that loves you is never going to harm you. And don't support that person. Let them deal with their stuff over there, because that may be your last time. Death is final. It is real. You hear me? It is final. And don't think that you're somewhat above it. I don't care who you are. I don't care how godly you think you are, or if you ungodly, whoever. Death is final. It is swift and it is final. And everything in life is about choices and decisions that we make. Start self-reflecting. When you're in a situation, instead of blaming the other person, be like, what did I do? How did I get myself here? What did I say? How was I thinking? What am I dealing with on the inside of me that is causing me to be in situations like this? You will be surprised that a lot of it has to do with your energy source, what's in you, what you have not dealt with, what you have not finalized, you know what I'm saying, what you have not looked at. You will, and another thing, like, you will never grow blaming a person. Me and my mom was having a conversation, and I'm going to go. I said, Mom, you know how I kept growing and growing? You know, I said when I was younger, I was blaming my dad for not being in my life, as why I was fighting all the time and getting suspended for school, while my temper was the way it was. And then, you know, a lot of people co-signed that. Family members, my grandma's like, he just needs his father. He needs his father in his life. And I did need my dad in my life at those formative years, but he wasn't. You got what I'm saying? But what I told my mom, I said, I had you as a mother. You were a great mother. You raised me right. You taught me right. You got how to handle situations and boom, 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 whatever. I said, so what I had to realize and how I grew is that, Oren, that wasn't your dad's fault that you got suspended for school. That wasn't your dad's fault when you was fighting those people. That wasn't your dad's fault that your temper was bad, because guess what? Your dad was never around. He wasn't there. He didn't come into the picture, and I know him at 24. You got what I'm saying? Whatever situation, you know, you had the trauma to that from the rejection and all of that, but he was never there. So those decisions were mine. So I had to self-reflect and say, you know what? That's how I grew, because I was like, no, these are my decisions. Just because he ain't here and was never here, I can't blame him. If I don't stop blaming him, I'm going to keep going down the same road. I went to God in prayer. I'm like, God, heal me. Because God, you said in your word, when your mother and father forsake you, then the Lord, will take you up into my bosom. Then I began to pray and ask God to free me from whatever hurt that I have, whatever trauma that I have. And let me say something. By this time, I hadn't been through molestations and all this other stuff. You got what I'm saying? So I already experienced some stuff. You got what I'm saying? And I just used to blaming other people. I would never hurt nobody the way people have hurt me. I'm never, you know what I'm saying? But I had to really look at myself. So if you really want to be free, if you really want to be healed, self-reflect. It's the hardest thing to do, because guess what? You're not all right. You're not all right within yourself. You got what I'm saying? You're not all right just within yourself alone. You got what I'm saying? Because the decisions you made, it doesn't matter what anybody did to you. Whatever you did was your choice, because you knew right from wrong. You knew what to do and what not to do. So I'm going to leave y'all with that. We're at 55 minutes. Like I said, people have a short attention span. I hope that you all watch this video in its entirety. Like I said, it'll be up for a few days so you can take time and look at it. But like I said, please go to follow me on Facebook at Oren Lyric. Follow me on Instagram at Oren Lyric. Also on Instagram, I got some black shades on. Got a black hoodie. You'll know it's me. You know what I'm saying? And then on YouTube, it's Oren Lyric 78. That's ORENLYRIC 78 on YouTube. Please subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe. We're going to get into some things. And I ain't going to promise y'all, right? Because then I would be a liar. Like I said, I'm working on consistency in other areas. And this is really going to have to be one, being a content creator, right? So y'all just pray for me. I want y'all to keep praying for me. Send good energy towards my way. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? I'm definitely sending it back to you, because I love you even if I don't know you, because I understand love now. I know what love is and I know what love does, and I don't have to hate you even if you don't like me. You see what I'm saying? So I want you to know something. So be good. Love God with all your heart and mind. For those of you that serve him, I know everybody doesn't. And this ain't no judgment on you who doesn't. Like I said, you don't really know God until you encounter him. There's a lot of people in church jumping up and down, doing backflips, spinning and everything else, and have had no encounter. They haven't had any encounter. You know what I'm saying? It's just a form of godliness, like the Bible says, but denying the power of. I am doing what God told me to do. I want you to be real. Let people see the authentic you. Speak to them, real people. Because God said, I ain't going to lose none that belongs to me. And he wants you to know that he loves you today. He loves you. Don't worry about falling, because we all do. Just get back up. He has already forgiven you anyway. And I want to speak this to everybody, every man and woman. When it's no longer working, be okay with walking away. You on this earth with billions of people. Put out the right energy. Stay focused on your vision, your goals, and the right person will find you. They will find you. They will walk in your life. You hear what I'm saying? And love you the way you're supposed to be loved. I'm going to say this, and I hope nobody get mad when I say this, but my Aunt Sandy had gave my Uncle Andrew I think it was his 60th or 65th birthday party. I can't remember. And she was talking about past relationships. I mean, she was just saying, what she said was, she said, I've kissed plenty of frogs, but I finally met my prince. At this time, I believe Sandy was like 54. My uncle was turning 60. You see what I'm saying? Be open to love. Be okay with walking away when it's not working. Don't misuse and abuse anybody, because that person definitely may love you a little bit more deeper. I'm sorry, y'all. I get tongue-tied. They may love you more deeper than you really love them. Y'all probably not on the same wavelength, but learn how to communicate that. Sit down and talk. Things don't have to be violent. You know, let them process their emotions. You process yours. And then you all should be able to walk away amicably. I said that right? I'm educated, y'all, but some words I get tongue-tied. But I want y'all to know I love y'all. Bye.